I've spent the last 20 years in courtrooms and boardrooms suing businesses, defending them, and restructuring broken deals. And if there's one legal enemy that almost nobody sees coming, it's not the client, it's not a partner, it's not even that sneaky lawsuit. It's the FTC, aka the regulators. They're the federal watchdog that doesn't need your permission to destroy your business. They can freeze your account, seize your money, subpoena you, open up your business, hold you personally liable, and even refer you for criminal prosecution. So in this video, I'm going to expose the top 10 things that the FTC absolutely hates about entrepreneurs who sell and market their services online. These aren't vague best practices. They're based on real FTC crackdowns and federal cases against coaches, course creators, and agencies just like you. We'll walk through the top 10 FTC pet peeves that are killing businesses right now, and more importantly, I'll show you how to fix them. And at the end, I'll reveal the #1 mistake that entrepreneurs make in their offers and how they can legally bulletproof them before it's too late. But first, let me explain to you what the FTC actually is and what they do. They should terrify you more than any lawsuit. The FTC is a government agency that enforces consumer protection laws across the U.S. They are one of your enemies. They have the power to investigate any business making claims to consumers, freeze your assets without warning, and impose fines that can reach millions of dollars. Now, here's what makes them so dangerous. They don't have to prove criminal intent. They only need to prove that your marketing was likely to mislead consumers. And that's an incredibly low bar that could easily destroy a business overnight. Now, the FTC can refer cases to state attorney generals for additional prosecution, to the Department of Justice for criminal charges, and they can coordinate with international agencies if you're doing business globally. Their guidelines aren't just suggestions, right? The courts treat the FTC regulations as the legal standard for fraud and deceptive advertising. So when judges decide whether your marketing crossed the line, they look to FTC guidelines along with state and common laws. Now, in 2023 alone, the FTC imposed over $2.4 million in penalties against businesses. The average case settlement was $1.2 million. And here's the scary part. Most of these businesses thought they were just doing good marketing. Now we're going to dive into the 10 things that put you directly into the FTC's crosshairs. Pet peeve #1 is the income illusion. This is when you make bold income claims without real audited proof. Things like my students consistently make 6 figures, or you'll 10x your revenue in 30 days. So here's the real case to watch out for: the FTC versus traffic funnels, where Marcus Williams and his business coaching company promised clients would generate $10,000 to $20,000 per month through telemarketing training. The FTC forced them to pay $960,000 in consumer refunds under Section 5 for unsubstantiated earnings claims. And I see this very often. The FTC requires competent and reliable evidence for any earnings claims. Your personal success doesn't count as proof that others will succeed. So how do you fix this? Either show documented typical results for your average client, or qualify every income claim with proper disclaimers and context. Some clients have achieved these results. Individual outcomes may vary significantly based on effort, market conditions, and implementation. Now, pet peeve #2 is the disappearing guarantee, right? You offer refunds or guarantees that disappear in fine print or become impossible to claim. The real case here is FTC versus Benefit Technologies. This health insurance company used risk-free language while making refunds nearly impossible through complex requirements. Now, the FTC ordered $100 million in refunds under Section 5 for deceptive practices. FTC regulations require that guarantees be honored as consumers would reasonably expect them, without hidden conditions that make them meaningless. And this happens all the time. It's happened to me. So make sure your guarantee process is genuinely accessible. If you offer a money-back guarantee, honor it exactly as customers would reasonably expect. Simple process, clear requirements, reasonable timeframes, and don't hide. Pet peeve #3 is the testimonial trap. Using client wins without disclosing if they were paid, cherry-picked, coached through the testimonial, or represents unusual results. Now, the case here is Teamy LLC. This wellness company paid influencers for testimonials without disclosure, and they used unrepresentative results. They had to pay $15.2 million in settlements to the FTC, in settlements for violating the FTC endorsement guidelines. Now, the FTC regulations require clear disclosure of any material connections between endorsers and advertisers, plus honest representation of typical results results, and they don't really do this at all. Now, the fix is to include full context with every testimonial. Sarah achieved these results after 8 months of implementation, investing $15,000 in advertising and working 16 hours per week. Results are not typical. Always disclose any compensation, incentives, or other benefits that are given in exchange for the testimonial. Now, pet peeve number 4 is the results not typical loophole, right? Thinking that these tiny disclaimers protect you from liability when your main marketing message implies typical results. Now, the case of FTC versus Lead Pages LLC says that despite having results not typical disclaimers, the FTC found their primary marketing messages still implied typical success. Settlement included $2.1 million in consumer refunds. So the regulations provide that disclaimers must be clear and prominent and cannot contradict the main advertising message. That's the key. I see that a lot with entrepreneurs. It's very problematic. So you got to make these disclaimers prominent and integrate it into your marketing message. Don't hide crucial information in the text or group windows that nobody wants to read. Now, pet peeve number 5 is the fake urgency switch or manipulative countdown timers, fake scarcity, or closing tonight offers that reset tomorrow for new prospects. The case to check out is Fairportal Inc. The New York Attorney General fined this travel booking company $2.6 million for fake countdown timers and false only X left messages that reset continuously. So the FTC specifically targets fake urgency as a deceptive practice under Section 5 of the Act. So how do we fix this? Only create urgency around real deadlines and actual limitations. If you say enrollment closes Friday, it better actually close on Friday, and you should document your real constraints and timelines. Pet peeve number 6 is the coach who acts like a doctor, and I see this all the time. You give legal, financial, or health advice without proper licensing or qualifications. People think because you're operating on the internet that licenses don't apply to you. Now, the important case here is FTC versus Kevin Trudeau. Trudeau was sentenced to 10 years in prison in order to pay $37 million for making unsubstantiated health claims without medical credentials. This case established criminal liability for unlicensed advice. So what's the legal fix here? Well, isn't it obvious? Stay strictly within your lane of expertise. Use clear disclaimers that your advice is educational, not professional services. Refer clients to licensed professionals for anything outside your qualifications, and don't pretend like you have a license, right? Pet peeve number 7 is the fuzzy scope coach, making vague offers that promise everything you need but deliver unclear value. Now, the case to check out is FTC versus Moby Limited 2018. This Maya online business empire coaching program promised comprehensive business training but delivered vague, incomplete materials. The FTC shut them down and ordered them to pay $125 million in consumer refunds. The regulations require that advertising claims about product capabilities be substantiated and clearly defined. So what's the legal fix? It's to create crystal clear scope documents that define exactly what's included and what's excluded. Match your marketing promises perfectly to your actual deliverables. Now, pet peeve number 8 is the vanishing terms page, right? Not having clear, accessible terms of service, refund policies, and legal disclaimers. FTC versus Amazon said that even Amazon was fined $61.7 million for unclear terms regarding their Prime subscription cancellation process under Section 5 of the FTC Act. Now, the FTC regulations require clear, conspicuous disclosures of all material terms and conditions. Now, material is a legal term of art. We can do a whole nother video for that. So what you got to do is create comprehensive, easily accessible terms of service and refund policies. Link them prominently at the checkout and require acceptance. Pet peeve number 9 is the offshore shell shuffle, right? Trying to hide behind offshore entities, foreign payment processors, or complex corporate structures to avoid U.S. jurisdiction. Case on point here is Sanctuary Belize. Despite being based in Belize, the FTC successfully pursued this real estate company for $18.5 million in consumer refunds. International location provided no protection because the FTC Act applies to any business affecting U.S. commerce, regardless of corporate location or structure. That's very broad, so it applies a lot to any anyone overseas doing business in the US. So you have to be especially careful as a foreigner. So what's the legal fix? To operate transparently within the US. If you're selling to US customers, follow US laws. Know them. Use legitimate business structures for tax optimization, not illegal evasion. So pet peeve number 10 is the ghost client problem, right? Not documenting deliverables, SOPs, client communications, or results. A case on point here is Digital Altitude LLC. This online marketing company couldn't substantiate their success claims because they failed to maintain proper client records. The FTC ordered $12.8 million in refunds and permanent business closure. FTC regulations require businesses to maintain records supporting any claims made to consumers for at least 2 years, and no entrepreneur knows this, right? So here's the fix. Document everything. Keep records of client onboarding, deliverables provided, communication history, and results achieved. Create systematic processes for record keeping and evidence preservation. Trust me, it will save you one day. So those are the top 10 FTC pet peeves, and each one of them can quietly kill your business if you're not playing defense. So here's what you need to remember. The FTC doesn't care about your intentions. They only care about what your clients understood and what you can prove. Even if it's true, you got to prove it. If your offers are big, your contract's weak, or your marketing is really hype heavy, then you're walking into a legal trap blindfolded. So the fix is you really need to play both offense and legal defense. You need proof, you need boundaries, you need receipts, and you need systems. You need the kind of legal infrastructure the FTC can't poke holes in, and they love to poke. You need a business attorney that you can trust on call, an FTC compliance manual, and an entire compliance system to protect you from the FTC and the myriad of other laws that you flirt with in this online world. Now remember, every successful entrepreneur who survives long term has learned this lesson. Compliance isn't optional. It's the foundation that lets you grow without getting destroyed. And eventually your enemies will come knocking. So now that you understand the top 10 things the FTC hates about your business, you need to know how to legally bulletproof your offers, especially if you're using the Hormozy style irresistible offers. You can make a lot of money with irresistible offers, but if they're not legally bulletproof, you're scaling your business right into the courthouse. So check out how to legally bulletproof your offers in my next video. Click the link below and I'll see you there.